I went to the bank. The bank were closed. So I went home. I lived on a place called Breitenbachplatz, which on one side was surrounded from houses, but on the back of the houses were empty places where this later could build houses, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my servant, Hans, he was Polish, I don't think that in the next days I will find a job here in Germany. I had constantly worked with France and with England, so fortunately I had a passport. I said, you know, put into the big thing everything what I need for maybe a month and a half. And as I looked out of the window in the back room, the whole house was surrounded by Nazis in yellow uniform. I said, oh, Mr. Goebbels didn't trust you. I said, Hans, here's money. You go, which was called Bahnhof Zoo, Bahnhof Amt Zoo. And there I meet you at 8 o'clock. The train to Paris goes at 8 o'clock. Buy one sleeping car, one
yes.
Things. Okay. Then I went to my sweetheart and said to her, look, you were once married to a Jew. You have 2 children. Nobody knows what may happen to you. Shall I take a part of your jewelry outside of Germany? We talked it over and she said yes, and she gave me some of them. When I left the house, they let me go.
In other words, it just so happened that there were on maneuvers.
By accident that on this afternoon or night time they prepared for night maneuvers or such kind of a thing. And I arranged it so that I arrived 5 minutes to 8 o'clock. It's a train. And my servant Hans was very nervous, running up and down and up and down. Said, Mr. Lang, where have you? I said, what is the excitement? He gave me my bills, and I stepped into the car, and we drove up. And I said, I will telephone you, or I will telegraph you that you come after me. Fine. Now, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with the jewelry. I went to another car, and I had some white tape. And I put the jewelry with the tape behind the toilet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If something happened to me, it was not my car. I don't give a damn. And then I went to my car to hide the 1,000 mark bills. I took a razor blade, made a cut in the carpet. And then came the great disappointment. The carpet was glued to the floor. I couldn't put the money underneath. In these days, I think you stopped at Herbestal, and you have to wait an hour and a half till you got into Belgium, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And during this time, there was an inspection of your luggage. But this time, it was an inspection by the yellow shirts. So I was on the one end of the car, and I heard them on the other end of the car knocking at the door and said, open up, pass control. Okay, they opened up. The next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. And then they came to the one next to me.
The compartment next to you.
Yeah. And in my compartment, I was lying on my bed. And I remembered that I always had said to my actors, if you wanna give a good act, try really to do what you are playing. So I started to snore. I didn't sleep. I heard them in the next room. Thank you. Closing the door. And I was waiting now they would open. They passed by. And I said, Goebbels had somebody watching you when you left the house, and he had somebody watching you here on the train, and just in 3/4 of an hour, when the train is leaving for Belgium, they will arrest you. Nobody came. The train left, and still today, so help me God, I don't know why nobody came into my apartment. So I went, took the jewelry. Next morning I took the $1,000 bills and I was in Paris. But I still don't know why nobody opened the door. I have to go back to something. At the beginning of my film career, if you want to use this word, I believed in fate. Slowly, with the years, I didn't believe in fate anymore. Fate is nothing that comes to you and you cannot escape. Fate is something that what you make out of your life. And my last films, which I made in this country, would have dealt with this. Now, let me say in my American films, for example, in, what was the first
Fury?
one? In Fury, there still exists a kind of lynching, and I made it.
Lynching, lynch mobs.
Yeah. It is an evil, but I cannot change it. I can only point it out. And the same thing is you only live once. And naturally, I will admit one thing. You know that here, in the schools, religion is not taught. How will you teach ethic if not with religion? I'm not a religious man, but ethic you learn only through religion. I hate to give interviews. I will tell you why. I usually said, when a director, or maybe the word is better, film creator, makes a film, and the film doesn't express what he wants to say, and he needs to give an interview to explain to an audience why and what, he's a lousy director, shouldn't make any films. His films should speak for him.